Hey, you rule! The one by the water.
Hello. Happy Year of Luigi, everybody. It's a good day to be here in Sacramento.
Hometown!
Mamma mia, it's a Luigi's here. Yahoo!
Hey, what's about my Luigi here? I never got to hear, man.
Oh, have a rotten day. Oh, man.
Oh, wait, I forgot about Luigi. I'm Baby Mario.
Yeah!
Hi, everybody. Sorry to keep you waiting, and thank you so much for coming here today. What a thrill to see everybody. Let me see if I can reach over there and grab my water, but hang on a second. Hang on a second, because I have to have water.
Woo, water!
This one on too? Yeah.
Just do it for in your life bar.
I could do a panel discussion with myself.
Do it!
Hey, Mario, what do you think about this Bowser in the movie? Well, he wasn't bad, but I don't know. You know, he was a little over the top.
I think you was a pretty good, psycho division there too. Mamma mia! Let's open the movie! Yahoo!
So, my name is Charles, and I'll be your host today. What a fun thing. I love Sac Anime. It's so cool. You guys are great. It's wonderful to see you. Am I supposed to be in the middle there, or am I supposed to be just anywhere?
Center!
They're not videotaping it, so I don't have to worry about like being in a frame.
So people are going to have a line up here.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So, I did a panel discussion yesterday, but if you don't mind, I'll start the panel discussion the same way I do, because a lot of people ask me, how did you get the job of Mario? And it's really quite simple. I crashed an audition. I totally was not invited to the audition. And I went on the beach, relaxing, and a friend of mine calls me up and says, hey, you gotta go to this audition. It's for a trade show in Las Vegas. And I said, there's absolutely no way I would ever crash an audition. I'm a professional actor. I'm supposed to be invited, and I, sign in with my card and everything. And I don't know how, but somehow he convinced me to go. Hang up the phone with him, and I'm like, grumble, 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 enjoying the beach, and I go to this audition. I'm walking in the door, and the cameraman and the producer are walking out the door. And I'm like, oh, hello, can I read for this part? And I mean, the guy literally goes like this, he goes, oh. It was like 2 steps from a cocktail hour is what I think it was. And he goes, all right, come on in. We'll set up the camera. You think about this. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, okay? So you're a video game character, so make up an accent, make up a whatever, and then make up a video game. And start talking, or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a video game. Just start talking, and whenever you stop talking, that's your audition. And I'm like, okay, Italian plumber from Brooklyn, obviously. Hey, how you doing? I'm under your sink. Don't bother me, hey, Or, hey, I'm waiting here. Get out of my face. And I'm thinking, well, that would be a not so fun if you were like, there were kids around, and you talk to them all day long. It's like, whoa, this guy Martin. So I'm thinking, well, I played Gremio and Timmy the Shrew a few years ago, and I thought, maybe I could make it nicer. A nice old Italian guy, he could talk like this. And maybe I'll do that and make him younger and, more vital, but I don't know anything about video games, And he had said, well, listen, what you're going to do is you'll have these contacts glued to your face. And when you talk, this cartoon character of Mario, the Italian plumber from Brooklyn, and he'll move his face at the same time. You say, hello, he'll go, hello, and then you can see people with a hidden camera, and you can hear people with a hidden microphone, and we have no idea if this is going to work or not, but if it doesn't work, you got to talk all day. So start talking and just whatever, just you talk, and whenever you stop, that's your audition. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I don't know anything about video games except what is a character in a video game, And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'll take that challenge though, because if you say to me, start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, as you can see, that really doesn't happen very often. So I am like sitting there thinking, well, I don't know anything about games, but I like food. And I hear action. And I turned to the camera and I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I'm going to get some spaghetti. We're going to put the spaghetti and the sausage in the pizza. And I'm going to chase you with the pizza. If I catch you with the pizza, you're going to eat the pizza. Then we're going to make another pizza. You're going to chase me with the pizza. If you catch me with the pizza, we're going to and then we're going to make a spaghetti meatball, you know. And I'm just going to think, okay, for sure he's going to say, stop, you know, stop that. Stop that. And he doesn't, you know. And so I moved on to every food group, you know, that I could think of. Eating, chasing, running, chasing, eating, chasing, running, chasing, eating. You know, kitchen sink, and then, okay, then we'll hop in the sink and we'll go down the mountain where the meatballs coming behind us. And, you know, and I just kept going on, and I kept thinking, okay, he's bound to say stop at one point. Okay, he's not going to say stop. You know, and then we'll make a little moon rocket, and we'll go up to you will buy meatballs, you know? And all of a sudden I did. I heard, cut, stop talking, please. There's no more tape. Thank you, we'll be in touch, you know? And for an actor, of course, is the kiss of death. That means we'll see you later, you know? And I said, okay, well, thank you very much. And I would head back to the beach for watching the sunset, which is what I do. And he gets on the phone, calls Nintendo, said, I found our Mario, I got him. And that was the only tape that he sent up there. And that was 23 years ago, about. And it's been 23 years of like total, absolute. It's like, how do you make that real, you know? And not only that, how do you say something in front of people without dying, you know? And so I learned my first monologue, and I actually think it was Joe. And I think he did die in the fire. But I remember that I hid in the back underneath the chair, hoping, this is my Waluigi life. My Luigi life. I just hiding behind the chair, thinking, maybe he won't choose me. And I went through. Everybody went through, and then I was the last one. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. 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 My name is Joe. I died a horrible death in the fire, and I'm sitting there as I start talking, my right knee starts going like this, I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I put my weight on it, because I figured everyone would sing it, and then that knee starts going, oh, and I'm convinced that people are hearing, well, my name is Joe, and I'm from fire, and so I think, okay, put your weight evenly and stand in the middle, and then they won't, then you'll be okay. And then they're both shaking like this. I'm going, and I did my monologue like that. I lived. By the way, I didn't die. I thought I would. And it's so funny because I finished, and people like everybody, yay, and I'm like, oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. And the comments were, you're the only person that wasn't nervous. And I'm like, going, they can't see the sweat in my palms and my, palms, And I don't know why, but that said something to me like, So I can be terrified and you don't know that, And so I, did another monologue and then, scene, and I started realizing I can kind of do this, and I'm like, I start getting really confident. I can be an actor. I can be an actor, And so the school auditions for Midsummer Night's Dream, and of course, what do I want to play? Oberon, King of the Fairies, There lies Titania sometime. But this is perfect. I'm made for this. I study. I practice, rehearse. My friend Les, that's excellent, very good. Don't get your hopes too high. This is college, and you might not be part of the drama department, but don't worry. And so of course we go in, we do this audition in front of everybody. We watch each other in theater, in college. And I watched everybody, and I did it myself. I went last, as I am wont to do. I went and I did my thing, and I felt like really good. You know, there lies Titania sometime. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I scorched it. I got it. I did it. You know. And the casting went up like 2 days later, and I like, well, I kind of went, yeah, well, I'll go see what I got here, you know. And I looked and I was like, let me see now, Charles Martinet. This is before internet searches, because if I had been there, it would have come up 0, 0. Sorry, 0 out of 0. I got nothing, not even Spirit Carrier, not the guy that holds the leaf up in the air, nothing. And I'm like, wait a minute, you know? And so somehow that set the fire on me to be an actor, you know? And I don't know why that would do it. That would teach a normal person, well, it's not working for you, try something else, you know? Try plumbing, you know? It didn't work for me that way. I started doing speech. I went speech stuff, a speech team. We won the state championship and the national championship, and I kept doing more scene work and more study. And then along came Berkeley Repertory Theater and auditioned for a summer apprenticeship program that you see at Berkeley Rep. And I went in there, and all the same guys that had just finished doing the play, Midsummer Night's Dream, were there. And I auditioned with Oberon. Because I'm a brat. Yeah, I'm a brat. So I auditioned for that, and I got into the apprenticeship program. And I started studying there, then I said, okay, I'm going to go to the acting school to be a really professional actor. I went to England, went to school, and then came back to America. Some, tragic things sort of happened with friends of mine, and so I went down to San Jose Rep, and I started working there, and then I got tired of doing theater altogether, because it just was I just wasn't giving me the joy that I had before. And so I kind of quit. And then a friend of mine calls me up and says, and this is how I bump my way through life. He goes, why don't do you want to come and do an audition for a corporate video? And I said, sure, what's a corporate video? He goes, well, it's a video, and it's corporate. It's just like acting in the theater, except there's a camera there. And I'm like, oh, well, sure, I'd be happy to do that, And I went and I started auditioning for those, and I got like 10 out of 10. And they paid as much for a day of work, and they were much more fun and silly and creative than when I was getting paid a week in theater at 60 hours a week. So I'm like, this is fun, and then I'm just doing that, and then all of a sudden one of the videos says, well, this is great, we wanted you to do trade shows with us. So I have stumped into trade shows, and then I get to sort of doing things. I'm an actor on a commercial, I can't remember what that's called. American Gothic, where the husband is standing there with the pitchfork in his hand.
Yeah.
That looks like me a lot. And I'm 25 years old, and
The guy with the glasses next to the woman on the farmhouse?
The farmer's wife, yeah, and she's like, that's
classic.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, because, in those days, lighting people took like 700 hours to light 10 seconds of film, So we did our day, and the director goes, that's great. Listen, do you do voiceover? And I said, sure. What's a voiceover? Well, you just read this copy here, and you just, you have to be like in 8 seconds or 10 seconds. And I looked at it and said, sure. What's the mic going? Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. Great, here's more money. And I'm like, oh! Look at that, I'm a voiceover actor. So when I talk about destiny, you can take it with a grain of salt because I fall into it one way or another. But the one common thing that I can say is commitment to happiness, commitment to joy, commitment to fun. And, that's one of the greatest gifts that I have is receiving your sense of joy and happiness in playing the games. And that's why for me, I really mean it's a tremendous honor and a tremendous joy to do what you love to do in life, for me to do what I love to do in life, and to be received so beautifully by so many people. And that, thank you so much for that. And I will continue doing these voices as long as I can, I promise. Anybody have a question? Because there's a microphone over there, and I think you got to go up to the microphone, and they're going to figure out how to do that. And I'm going to drink of water. That's the thing too, is when you do voiceover work, you want to really drink a lot of water.
It's like singing.
I do, when we're doing
It's like singing.
like a 4-hour session, and I go through probably, I don't do bottles because it's not physiologically sound, but
Thank you.
like the equivalent of like 12 of those in a 4-hour day.
Oh man.
Yes. Hi.
Joshua Machado, it's nice to meet you. Charles Martinet. I was wondering, which character is your favorite? Like, which one do you to voice over?
Which one is my favorite?
Yeah.
The favorite of Charles Martinet, also known as Martinet, that's really cool, the Martinet, you know. Which is what I do with the Mario in real time, by the way, is Martinet work. It's you know, I sit there with a game controller, and I make Mario, you know, wave, and it's like, hello there, how are you? Oh, look at that, you got that red hat on. I'm beside myself, you know. And, you know, so, you know, that's what I do, you know. It's like, oh yeah, I was with the princess this morning, mamma mia. My favorite character is Mario. It will always be Mario. I love Luigi, because I'm more like Luigi than I am like Mario. But I definitely, I love Mario. He's, you know, one thing about acting, and then, you know, for any young actor, it's like all acting is basically the same thing. It's just that in a film, all you have to do is think something, and it comes out through your soul. In a television, you have to think something, but in an active way. In theater, you have to demonstrate in some way, even though your concentration is on the thinking and the action of it, but you still have to demonstrate it somehow. You can't go, this is the greatest apple ever, you know, nobody can see it, you know? And then with cartoons, you can go, wow, this is the greatest apple ever, you know, because you be in that truth, you think it, you feel it, you emote it, you show it, and you take it over the top, you know, in a lot of animation. In some animation, they go the opposite way. It's like, let's be smaller, but, you know, the truth is always in the character. And the truth of Mario's character, getting back to your question, sorry. You know, I love Mario because I love that aspect of his character that he's, you know, in love, common man, rescues a princess, falls in love with a princess, you know, and faces every challenge with a let's go, you know. I think that's great. I personally am more like Luigi. I'm like, oh no, mamma mia, like I gotta fly tomorrow, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't pack, I didn't pack, I did this, I did this, I did that. What am I gonna? Oh my god. Is that a cough? You know, it's like, you know, paranoia, delusion, you know, this sort of things. But that's what voiceover actors do. It's like, you're always like, my throat. Was that, oh no, that was me breathing, okay? But that's, you know, you get to know yourself as a performer, and that's what you do. But that's, I think, Mario. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Thank you. I'll try to be more efficient in my answer. Hi.
Hi. Have you ever mixed up your characters, like mixed up with Mario with a Luigi or a Luigi with a Waluigi?
You know, I have done that. You know, the first time somebody asked me that question, I honestly said no. I never have. And I have to confess, I'm a human being, and it's like, you know, it's a terrible confession. No, it's a great confession. But, you know, sometimes, you know, you know, this morning, when you know, I usually was up in the morning early doing Sacramento's daytime thing, and good morning Sacramento or something like that. Good day Sacramento. Yeah, good day Sacramento. You know, and I'm half asleep, and I start doing like Wario, but with Waluigi lying in my head, and I'm like, you know, if you watch it, you go, oh, he's confused right there. Confused, you know, see. So yeah, I have, you know, but in general, you know, those characters live with me, you know, they're 24/7, they're in me, and I wake up in the morning and go, ooh, let's go, you know, and I'm, you know, and when I find myself driving you know, so yeah, they're always there, and yes, they do get confused. They never argue though, really. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hello, Nathan Allen.
Hi,
This is a really random question. It has nothing to do with what you do. Is that all right if I ask a random question?
Yes, if I can't answer it, I won't.
All right. Has anyone ever told you how strikingly similar you look to Jeff Daniels? Yeah.
You know, a couple of people have. You know, I don't see it, but people say I look like my brother, and I'm like, that guy? You know, and then, you know, I went into a casting one day for a movie called The Game. You know, and the cashier looks at me, and, you know, they sent us the script, which is really weird. I read the whole script, you know, and I go in and he goes, well, now, how do you see yourself in this movie? And I'm like, well, you know, I mean, there are a couple of businessmen who are in one scene. He goes, I don't see that. I see you as Michael Douglas's father. And I'm like, really? That's interesting. Why? You look exactly like him. And I'm like, what? And you know, and I got, and then, you know, I was so busy right then, I almost didn't get that part because the director's like, well, I want to meet him at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. I'm like, I can't come on 4 o'clock on Tuesday. I'm working at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll see you at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. How dare you? But, you know, but somehow I managed to get that part. It was very nice, and the director was an extremely nice guy, and brought me to the top of this roof of the Filoli Mansion and said, would you mind jumping off this? Of course not, you know? How about we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do it, you know? And you know, and then so I did that movie. It was a really great fun movie to do. I got to meet Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, and got to work with a really great director, and you know, and then when I watched the movie, I would see myself, and it didn't look to me like I looked at all like him, but then they'd show something like Michael Douglas walking like down a hallway, and I went, I didn't shoot that scene, wait a minute. So I guess, you know, I can't see myself that way, but yes, people have to mention that. Mostly just recently.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I like your shirt.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, yeah, like we were mentioning earlier about the Mario in real time, there's actually YouTube clips of that, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot, some of the gags are kind of similar to the Mario Head videos in, I think, Mario Teaches Typing 2.
Yeah, that was the technology we used in Mario Teaches Typing 2.
Yeah, those videos kind of have a bit of a following on the internet.
Yeah, you know, it's a funniest thing because my philosophy of comedy is I mean, obviously, as with, you know, all creation and creativity, as a creative person, you can either do it from the dark side or the light side. The side that lacks and misses and everything, or the side that is like happy and joyful. And I consciously choose to go from the happy side. You know, there's Picasso and Rodin, great artists with a tragic sort of mistress life and things, or there can be very positive aspects of creativity. And I go for the positive creative aspects. And now it's, at this point is where I have to say, what exactly was your question? Because I know I went a little bit left.
How do you feel about the clips from the game?
Yeah.
It's a bit of an internet sensation.
We're talking about Mario then.
Yeah, Mario Teaches Typing 2, the Mario Head clips.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that being a bit of a thing on the internet?
Thank you. So my version of comedy with Mario, thank you very much. I appreciate that because heaven knows I don't always follow the. Sometimes I can get back there, you know. It's like I used to go fishing, you know, you try to cast it a long way. It's like, come on back, baby, you know, and bring a fish, will ya? You know. So yeah, sometimes I miss that. What did you ask? No. I won with Mario from that beginning of that audition. It's like I'm going to amuse you, but I am not going to be, you know, like, you know, because what happened in that audition? No, I'm going to go again. Is everybody else, and you know, I don't know how many, lots of people at the audition would go like, hey, my name is Mario, I'm under your sink, I'm doing the plumbing work here, what's going on here? You mean something like that? And as soon as they broke character, you know, he'd say, yeah, like that, thank you, next, you know, because he asked you to go on and not stop, you know? So for me, it's like, if I'm gonna go on, I don't want to be going like, hey, you know, hey, you're an ugly guy, what's the matter with you with that haircut, that hoo-hoo, you know, I don't want to be harmful, because when my first acting class ever, there was a guy with a stutter. And he, you know, and I said, well, how did you get the stutter? If you always had it, you know, because of your pals. He goes, no, I was at 21st birthday, I was at a show in Las Vegas, my friends took me to, and this comedian, who's a very well-known comedian in the time, you know, was all about, you know, comedy by insults, you know, you moron, what's the matter with you? And it's, you know, they singled this guy out, oh, it's your birthday, I hear it's your birthday, you know, hey, you fat, pimply kid, what's the matter with you, you ugly, you know? And he just kept going at this guy, and all his friends are laughing, and the audience is laughing, and this guy's getting humiliated. And so he, you know, he woke up the next morning with a stutter, and he had it ever since. So for me, a pillar in my life is I will never make comedy that's hurtful. So along comes the Mario thing. I got back to it. Because it really is like, you know, the decision I made was to make comedy that was fun and joyful and sweet and innocent. Because I think that's the character aspect in all of us that I think we all need to touch and return to. So, I get emotional about that, because I think it's really true. So, that comedy is always based on the most silly stuff. You know, it's like, here's my impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Terminator. I'm gonna be back. So it's like, all the comedy all the time was like that, So the Mario teaches typing, that was using that head technology, and that was really fun. That was like the first, if you said game, that really is the first game. It wasn't, but it wasn't really a game. The first real game was Mario 64, which was like, every time I saw
Fantastic game.
in the hallways at CES, I would say, Papa, and he would laugh and we'd take some pictures, and I still call him Papa. He's the most absolutely wonderful, delightful, truly great human being who has given so much to all of us, and is just a regular guy who can, you can just say, hi, how are you? Oh, very well, I'm very happy to see you. Just a beautiful guy. So, yes, all that stuff. I think I was just really, 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 really lucky that Mr. Miyamoto and I are on the same. I happen to rise to his level of thinking or emotion in that audition somehow, and then in the subsequent jobs we sort of like fleshed out the character and learned more and more what the character was. And that will always be a character of innocence and joy and fun and sweetness. And in a sense, it really is something that you choose. As you get older, when you're young in childhood, you have the beauty of innocence that just, that goes through you. When you get older, as life has its little nicks and dings, you start having the opportunity to be either cynical or to re-choose your innocence, and I choose to go back to my innocence again and again, and remember that as a choice, I don't like cynicism, and that's why even the cynicism of Wario and Waluigi is a harmless cynicism. It's a harmless sort of self-pity, as much as it can be. So, sorry, that's a long answer to that question. Did I answer it at all?
I think so, because it was more, how do you feel about those videos, they become
good.
a bit of a minor sensation.
Good. That was a better answer. That second one was like, it was more concise, right? Yeah. Hi, how are you? Some people are really nervous when they meet me. It's like, oh my God, I mean, I'm just a guy, I'm just a guy that, I'm the luckiest guy in the world who gets to do what I love. I've got this wonderful, wonderful character that lives in me every day. So, it feels wonderful, but it's also very humbling because, let's face it, as actors, you wait for the possibility of working, and when you get that chance and it lasts for 23 years, it's pure joy, and with that character of all.
When you're getting there with Wayne Allen, I think was 37?
Wow, really? Yeah. I'll be Grandpa Mario. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi. Oh, sorry. My